Yeah, so looking forward here to game number 2. A little bit of trouble in game 1, but it was actually a really great game. Good to see the Viper in game 1 with a nose for victory. He saw his moment and he ran in and finished his opponent off. We'll see the Viper in blue versus Liereyy in red, and it is going to be Indians for the Viper, and Liereyy will be Indians as well. So finally, the Indians mirror, both players going with it.
Viper's coming forward very quickly with his scout here. And, he scouted a little bit of his area. He's found his starting resources, but he's very quick to scout Liereyy right now just to see what's going on over there. And as usual, Viper being Viper, gonna dice with death underneath this TC and get away with it as well. Yeah, Viper's definitely trying to do what he can to lame this villager. Liereyy here. Oh my goodness, Viper with the lame. He's such a lamer. The scout being used there to block the villager as she tries to bring it back. And of course, it's a downhill for Liereyy as well. Oh my god, he's going to get another one. Are you kidding me? Viper! Seriously, what is this? Oh my god, he gets 2 vills. And Lierey's like, what the hell is this bug? And Viper's just, it's not a bug, mate. This is just me.
Oh,
hey,
man.
it's me, your game bug. Wow, that's ridiculous. Will he lose a third? No, surely not. He has his own scout here now, and Viper's going to run away. But that is just ridiculous as Liereyy pulls that the boar in. 2 villagers down at 7 minutes of game time. And you're kicking yourself if you're Liereyy right now. Liereyy is going to come in with this drush just in time. If Viper's quick, he can wall these villagers in, but he could delay the stable quite a bit here. Liereyy now coming in. There's the quick wall, but it's going to fail. Viper with the AoE fails, and that's going to delay his stable, which is definitely not ideal. The delay of that stable is really, really important for Liereyy. This is actually bringing his way back into this game a little bit, little by little, as he makes his move now towards the berries and just keeping these units alive, keeping Viper distracted and busy, whilst he puts up 2 ranges, and he'll probably go straight into archers here, which is pretty good, but only if he can get a few archers out and in decent numbers before Viper masses the scouts. He needs a lot more archers, otherwise he's going to get caught out in the open, and these scouts, they're going to have a field day. Liereyy just can't afford to take losses like this at this point in the game.
Yeah, Fletching coming in for the Viper as we speak. He's chasing those archers down. Lierey's going deeper into spears and archers. He's going to meet in the middle of the map, and this could get interesting. Looks like the Viper for now is not going to take a fight there. Liereyy will regroup on top of a hill.
I'm interested to see what Liereyy can do here with the scouts in the picture. He's actually got +1 defense on the scouts here, and he's looking for an angle of attack. Now, Liereyy is putting a huge amount of pressure on himself. He really is, because he has to do damage right now, because Viper's clicked up to the castle. And if he can't do damage to Viper, by the time Viper hits castle, Liereyy is toast once again.
The Viper has +1 defense. Liereyy does not, so that's going to make Lierey's archer units a little slower. Liereyy does have the better scouts for the moment, and Lierey's just trying to get out. He's realized that the Viper kind of has him pinned in here. Looks like he's going to push through a palisade and maybe move his army out of here.
If you can get to the hill, at least, that would be good. But he's actually going to turn and fight now, bringing in the skirms, the scouts to focus down the skirms. But I still think he's going to try and get out, to be honest with you, trying to negate as much damage as he can before he before Viper gets up to the castle age, sorry. But still, I mean, it's not a terrible fight for him. He's still doing quite a bit of damage with those scouts, and he's actually going to bring down a few of these scouts of Viper as well, who's actually got bloodlines now, by the way. So these are bloodline scouts from Viper here.
Yeah, Viper with bloodlines and now with +1 defense. Ooh. And it looks like he will clean Lierey's entire army there. Liereyy back at home is dropping another range. Viper will hit Castle Age, and Liereyy will just be clicking up to it, and he will give the GG in game number 2.
Oh. I just think Liereyy losing those 2 villagers to the boar, it almost spelled the end right there. As soon as Viper gets 2 villagers at 7 minutes of game time, that is such a huge advantage that Liereyy just can't really come back from, realistically. Okay, so hello guys, and welcome back to our final match of the day, our Viper versus Liereyy series for the Age of Empires All-Stars here. The score is currently 2-0 to the Viper. as we go on to the third map now, which is going to be Viper's home map, and that is going to be Team Islands. We have Liereyy in the green to the west, playing in as the Malay, and we have Viper to the east, playing as the Malay as well. So for the first time on a water map, we are seeing the Malay and not a Italian mirror.
I gotta ask you, is this the Viper's home map all the time, or is he just choosing it against Liereyy?
Good question. I mean, I think Viper's probably going to feel confident on any map, but I think he knows that Liereyy is not the strongest of water players compared to land maps, for example. And I think Viper, you know, he might not be the best water player of all time, but he's still the Viper, and he's still very, very, very good at water maps as well. So, you know, it's like, I think it's more his opponent's weakness than his strength necessarily.
So other than winning the water here early and getting your galleys out, I mean, what else is left? If you lose the water, I guess it's a desperate landing in this map?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, most players are going to dock on the front for the better fish, and then if things go south, you know, either a quick landing coming in to try and catch their opponent off guard, or alternatively a boom and then try to retake the water later on. And we saw that actually in the Tato versus Backed game earlier on this same map. We did see Tato lose the water in the feudal age, try and retake it in the castle and fail, and then he tried to retake it in the imperial age and then he won. So it's certainly possible to come back on this map. Viper actually does have more food in the bank right now, and this is questionable. Why does Liereyy do loom and then Viper, you know, Viper's already up here. Viper's going up with 23 pop, already going up to fuel. He's already a third of the way there. Lierey's going up with 22 pop, doing loom, and he's going to be behind as well now. So that is a questionable decision, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. Liereyy with one extra fishing ship, and he seems to be in a great spot. And like you said, maybe he was just not quite there on food. I don't know why, but Liereyy going up just after getting loom, and that's a huge difference maker. If we look at the bar, we can see the Viper is maybe 80% of the way done the research, and Lierey's about 60. The meta so far has been to build a couple fire galleys, and then, ooh, holy cow. Do you see Viper landing here?
Oh, that's cheeky. He's going to send the scout over, and I thought he might send the villager as well, but no, it's just the scout. And I think maybe Viper's thinking, you know, I'm going to try and delay the dock. And that is just so smart, because he can just attack the villager, and then Lierey's like, oh, I'd like to build the dock right now, but actually I can't because I'm going to lose my villager otherwise. Absolutely worth making a transport ship. He gets the villager kill. There is no second dock for Liereyy, and that just shouldn't be allowed to happen. But there you go.
Yeah, that is really amazing from the Viper. I don't know how he did it. It actually kind of makes sense now that Liereyy got loom. Maybe he was expecting some scout raiding.
You have to bear in mind, it also did cost him 125 wood to make the transport ship. And it also took him time to build the transport ship instead of building a galley, for example. But yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, it's pretty clear that since Viper hasn't added the third dock, he's doing something else up his sleeve. He's already seeded 3 farms. He's moved a lot of villages out to the berries, whereas Liereyy, no farms yet. He's still got sheep under the TC, and he's also only moving out to the berries right now.
Yeah, it is very interesting. The Viper should have a nice opportunity he should have had a nice opportunity to get out in front of Liereyy. But like you said, he's kind of not quite... I see. A couple villagers headed down to the transport ship from the Viper. So it looks like he will attempt to land Liereyy. Liereyy at the moment is not going to find this just yet. Yeah, unfortunately, Lierey's not going to see this at all. His scout's not in position, and neither are his ships.
Well, the earlier you do a landing, I feel the more successful it's going to be, just because of the surprise factor, I guess. And Viper's getting value out of that transport ship there, making it to, make it a good opportunity to land. The wolf will come in and delay them a little bit, and Lierey's scout's going to spot it. That is so crucial. Did he actually see it, though? Yes, he must have done. As the scout runs past, he'll see the villagers, and another wolf is locked on. So could this spell the end for Viper's landing, or is Liereyy just patrolling his scout and hasn't actually seen these villas at all?
Yeah, Liereyy, I have to imagine, saw those villagers. and for the moment is going to head back with his scout and figure out what those Vills are up to. Viper's going to attract yet another wolf. This will be 3 wolves that he's now killed on this island. And Lierey's scout is in the corner now, not quite able to locate those villagers.
That was very nice for Viper. Viper's now building the second archery range and a blacksmith, on Lierey's side, ready to maybe send some archers towards Lierey's economy. And I still feel like Lierey's not seen this. So unfortunate for Liereyy, but that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, it really surprises me that he didn't see it. It surprises me that he doesn't notice the wolves being gone. But hey, I mean, the micro on the water was really intense at that moment. And maybe the Viper was able to catch Liereyy focusing on another part of the map. I guess we won't know for now. We'll have to ask Liereyy later, but it will be archery range blacksmith up for the Viper. And those first couple archers are going to roll into a totally unprotected economy. Yeah, Liereyy has to see something weird is going on. He is going to drop a barracks back at home, so maybe he is thinking like, all right, Viper must have landed me, or he must be about to land me. But these first couple archers with +1 damage, +1 defense will roam into Lierey's eco, and they're going to be a real pain. Headed straight toward that first wood line. Lierey's going to lose a villager there to begin with, and then he's going to send in about 10 villagers to finish this barracks and to get up a defensive tower. So Liereyy is in damage control mode.
He's lost 3 villagers already this game as he rushes up this tower. Now he's going to lose another one here with Viper having the hill bonus. And I mean, that's just for Liereyy right here. You got to be kicking yourself, especially if he watches the replay on this one.
There is actually a bright spot here. I mean, Lierey's in the score lead. He has a couple of fishing ships. Let's see, how many? How many exactly? We've got 5 fishing ships out for Liereyy at the moment, so he's got a good, relatively cheap food economy. But yeah, absolutely. If he doesn't deal with this landing soon, it's really going to be GG.
Single monk for Viper inside of the monastery, and right now it looks like Liereyy is actually going to be loading up the knights and sending them across. This could be his opportunity to do some counter damage, and that's exactly what he needs right now.
Lierey's going to send across 4 knights. What does the Viper have at home to deal with this? Not much. He has a barracks, so he can pump out some spears, I suppose, and try to clean it up. But the Viper's economy is very open for raiding. Lierey's landing is going way down to the south, which is interesting. Viper almost able to find him here with a fire ship. But Liereyy will land the very southern point of the map.
We'll see if Liereyy can actually kill much out here. He doesn't have bloodlines, and he's going to run into that TC, so the knight's going to die quite quickly. He'll find 2 villagers, though, and that's absolutely what he needs right now.
Actually, a pretty meaningful knight fight on the bottom. We will see a monk get rushed down. Viper not able to get a convert there.
Nicely done, actually. He will find another 2 villagers, maybe even more, back here before these knights go down.
3rd TC in for the Viper. As you said, he has upgraded to pikemen, so those knights are not quite as threatening. And it's the window is starting to close for Liereyy. He's got to get something done here. He doesn't control water, and he's probably not getting in as much good raiding as he might want to. Liereyy moving over to stone, so is the Viper. So we will see these guys maybe drop some castles here in not too long of a time. Castle is ready for the Viper. 800 stone in the bank. Can drop it anytime that he wants to. I do see a couple vills kind of standing out here in no man's land. Are they going to transport over? What's the plan? There it is. Castle will come up on the shoreline here for the Viper.
Yeah, going to solidify his dock's position. He's actually sending out 2 monks and 2 pikes across the pond as well. But right now, I mean, it's interesting because Viper's spent a lot of time gathering stone. He's spent a lot of resources on, mangonels and knights and monks and all this stuff. And Liereyy, on the other hand, is actually closer to the Imperial Age than Viper right now, with 600 gold and 600 food in the bank. But Lierey's had enough. Liereyy is done as Viper drops over the pikeman, and I think Lierey's just like, yeah, there's a mangonel here. I've got nothing to deal with it. There's knights again. There's pikes. There's monks. And I think Liereyy just felt a little overwhelmed in the end there.
Very surprised to see the Viper go 3-0 here, because Liereyy is a very strong player. Viper was able to get a win in each one, kind of won in a different fashion in each game, so it was kind of fun to watch. The Viper at work, and yeah.
Yeah, well, interestingly, I mean, all 3 games we saw Viper do something a little bit, cheeky. The first game with the scout, with the horse getting under the TC and surviving, the 2 villager kills. The third game with the transport killing the villager on the shoreline with the scout. All these little things, just little additional advantages which he can gain, making the most of what he has at any given time is very impressive. But I mean, it is quite lame. But if there's $32 on the line for every single game that's played, you're going to do what you're going to do to win, right? I mean, that's just logical at the end of the day.